Deciding about your workflow and the way that you want to record is going to be a really big part of whether or not you get the most that you can out of the Symphony Essentials. Symphony Essentials is a great introduction to the Symphony series, and for most people, Symphony Essentials is probably all you're going to need. It really is a lot. It's a lot. It's, gigabytes upon gigabytes of sounds and a ton of control. But you really need to decide if you're going to make multis, if you're going to keep things separate, if you're going to get extensive use of key switching. I've seen a lot of people work both ways. I've seen people put the key switches in after. I've seen people keep separate articulations on separate tracks. However you want to work is really up to you. What's most important is just that you use the workflow you're going to use and use it constantly and learn it fast. But you'll see if you are thinking about where to go from here and thinking about upgrading and what the value is for you, you're going to want to think about what type of instruments are you lacking? What do you wish it could do a little more? So if you open up any of these instruments, you'll see there's a lot more space in the articulation slots than you see there. There's obviously some you can fill it up with more. And if you have the Symphony series, there's going to be more articulations, more layers of samples, more round robin, just more layers of authenticity. If you want to amp up your articulation slots a little bit, you can use the velocity range and just start to activate certain ones in certain velocities, but you have to use a multi for that because it doesn't automatically switch. So if you set sustain to go from 1 to 90, and then you set staccato from 91 to 127, then it won't switch in the same instruments unless you actually key switch still. It just makes it so that sustain turns off after 90, and then staccato will kick on at 91, but only if you have staccato picked. So you'd have to make a second instance of just staccato and have that kick in at 91. So there's a lot of things about, maybe restrictions in the way that the engine operates that you might want to think about upgrading to the Symphony series. Round robin sampling, automatic splitting, and scripted splitting of the strings. So if you're interested in that, you can, if you take a look at Session Horns Pro, for example, Session Horns Pro automatically does that. So when you're working with the ensemble, it will automatically split up and, voice it, not just by key range, but if you play one note, it's all four instruments together. If you play two notes, then two of them on the low note and two of them on the high note. And if you play four notes, it's like low, middle, upper, middle, high. It kind of automatically scripts it. And that's a cool feature of Session Horns Pro that they've brought to the Symphony series for the strings. So it's definitely worth thinking about, do I want more samples? Do I want more articulations? That can help you make the decision of whether you need to jump on beyond the Symphony Essentials and take a look at the Symphony series. So I hope that you got a lot out of this course. I certainly enjoyed teaching it to you. I think it's a pretty amazing instrument, and I think you can get a lot out of it the more you use it. So I'm Matt Vanacoro, and I hope you had a great time learning with me today. And I hope to hear some great music that you composed down the road using Native Instruments Symphony Essentials.